The end of the last video, I used the F-bomb. Sorry about that. I've probably used the F-bomb a few times. I try to be good. But what got me going was I remembered I was dreaming of an earlier time. I was dreaming of this Lotus 123, Lotus 123. Now, I realize nobody I'm talking to has any idea of what Lotus was, but I was once the master of the spreadsheet. I was the king of budgeting. I worked for the Sierra Club, which was a good outfit, still is, in San Francisco. And I was in charge of like putting together all the spreadsheets. And I could put together spreadsheets so quickly that I was putting together everybody's spreadsheets, everybody in membership services. We were tracking the numbers of members and contributions and all that kind of stuff. And I'm trying to, now, of course, everybody's using Excel these days, right? So Excel. So what's Excel? Excel is this one here, right? This is, you all know what Excel is. It's this bad boy, okay? But before Excel, there was this one, okay? Now let me tell you why I was king of the spreadsheet and why I'm a dinosaur in the modern age. Now let's take a look at this thing. Look across the top, okay? Just bear with me a minute. You might have to get close to the screen to make sense of this. So Lotus 123, which was used back in ye olden days, which would have been, I don't know, so many decades ago, I can't even remember. I mean, it must have been 80s, I suppose. Probably, yeah, 80s. Let's say 80s, okay? And so Lotus. So I'm working for the Sierra Club and I'm making these, cranking them out like, 4 an hour, boom, boom, boom. It was like, give the spreadsheet to Will, he'll enter the data. Okay, so this is how Lotus worked. Now, the first thing you need to know was back in ye olden days, before most of you were born, we didn't have this. We didn't have this. We had computers. And our computers, oops, there we go, back to where I want to be. Our computers just had keyboards, and keyboards just had directional arrows on them. There was no, okay? So what this meant is the way that we navigated around a screen was through letters and keystrokes. Now, keystrokes, that is the key, okay? So those of us who are kinesthetically oriented, which you can probably tell is me because of the way I use my hands. Now, look at this thing, okay? So file, edit, workshop, range, copy across the top of the Lotus 123 spreadsheet. So to get into file, you would do like Shift F, or to get into edit, Shift E, Shift workshop, worksheet. And under every single one of those categories was 5 or 6 options which functioned like a tree, right? So if you're an analytical thinker, which I am, and I think a lot of people probably are if they deal with numbers, if you're an analytical kind of person, you understood the tree because it made logical, rational sense that under file, there would be these options, under edit, they were these. No pictures, okay? So the only pictures, there were some pictures here in later versions that you see here, these funny little pictures. But by and large, we navigated our way around the spreadsheet through these trees that were activated by words, that were activated by letters, and the letters were activated by keystrokes, by these here, okay? So my knowledge of Lotus 123 was so cellular that for a number of years of my life when I was working on spreadsheets every single day, I would dream that I was inside a Lotus spreadsheet. I was inside the operation of a spreadsheet, and I was the keystroke in motion. I was the keystroke that was going through file, and keystroking down to the right thing and putting everything in the right place. And because I was just operating on keystrokes and logic, I could create these things in a heartbeat. Now, let's fast forward to the modern era, and this is what we got now, right? We've got these, this is a classic Excel spreadsheet, does the same kind of thing, but how do we get around? We get around with this thing. You got to move everything around, click on, everything's in the wrong place. And even worse, for those of us who rejected Macs when they came out because they looked like toys, because we weren't like pictures. They got pictures. Like serious people don't use computers to like push pictures and see pictures. It's like it's words and numbers and lines. It's not just friggin' pictures. So look at this thing now. Now, in order to make an Excel spreadsheet, you have to go across all these things along the top, and then it opens up all these little other menus underneath it. And you have to look at the fine print, or you have to remember what these images mean. Now, some of these images across the top are straightforward. Okay, I get this one. This is centering, blah, blah, blah. But some of them make absolutely no sense whatsoever. Now, I've been struggling with why I used to be a genius with Lotus 1, 2, 3 and why I'm fair to middling with Excel. And the answer came to me a few years ago when I decided I was going to learn Mandarin. Okay? Now, I'm not bad with languages. I mean, I can speak a little bit of a lot of languages. Moi, je voyais dire Hanyu, il y a parlé svenska, je parle un peu le français. Quand j'étais jeune, je pouvais parler presque comme mon parisien. But now, you know, what have I left out? I've left out a number of languages. But you get the point. Okay, ear. So I got an ear. And I also used to be able to remember words on a page. As I get older, I don't remember words so well on the page. I don't remember the visual representation. So so that part of my brain's not working too well. This is working well. So Mandarin, the teacher thought I was a genius because I'd be like, I had the tones completely down. So like, dude, you know. So I'm sitting next to, and he's writing stuff out on the board in pinyin, which is, you know, the Roman alphabet with accents. So we get the tones right. So we're instead of like if you said, you'd be saying, you know, mother, horse, boots, what's the other one, right? So the same word, that can mean like 4 different things if you don't get the tone right. Right. So it's important in Mandarin to get the tone right. Okay. So I understand that. So I'm sitting next to this woman who, in my class, it's a university level course because I'm gonna take it seriously. I'm gonna go to China every year of my life for a week or two as an independent traveler and go to some new place and discover it. So that was my goal back in the olden days before COVID. At any rate. So I'm sitting next to this woman, and she's Cambodian, and the professor is in the front, and he's writing everything out in pinyin. I'm writing everything out. He's writing the characters, of course, but I'm like, characters, they look like that, right? They're just like, they're a bunch of lines. Yeah, they're pretty, some of them. And of course, the lie is that each one of these things represents the thing it's meant to represent. So if you look really carefully, you can see that the one that is man, person, that one looks kind of like a person. Yeah, so it's true with like 10 of them or something. You know, is this rain or mountain? I think that's mountain. Okay, so, but really, by and large, even if they look like the thing, that doesn't help someone like me who is an idiot when it comes to recognizing symbols, recognize them. So I'm sitting next to this woman, and he's writing the symbols, and she's writing down like in tiny little letters. It's like she's written it, and it looks like a typewriter has written out these Chinese characters. And I'm just looking at her, and I'm thinking, what? I didn't know it was even possible for humans to do what she's doing. And I say, how is it that you're doing that? Or why do you do that? I mean, I just wanted to know. And she said, this is when the penny dropped. She said, it's the only way I can remember. The only way I can remember the words. And I was just like, what? That would be the only way I could make sure I never remembered the words in human history. And that's when I really got that I know we all have different brains, but it's like she's a genius with the recognizing the symbol part of the brain. Now, that may be because she grew up speaking Khmer and writing with symbols, so that may have something to do with early training of the brain. But I don't think that alone explains it. Why is it that my IQ, when it comes to recognizing symbols, is like not even adult normal? I mean, it's like 0. And hers is average, and mine's just adult normal. Maybe she's brilliant, but I don't think so, because a lot of people can do what she can do. This was it. This to me was the breakthrough. This is the moment when I understood that because we've moved from words and relationality, which is kinesthetic, keystrokes, right, to pictures on a screen. Pictures everywhere. Everything's pictures. Everything requires memory of a picture. I don't even understand the icons on my phone. I mean, I don't know what they mean. I can't find them. Even in alphabetical order, I sometimes look at them and I'm perplexed by what they could possibly mean. I certainly can't remember them. So this is the end of my second rant, I guess, and it's why I'm a dinosaur.